Hey everybody, happy MOTU Monday. We've got some Masters of the Universe Masterverse figures to look at. So in my recent pile of loot unboxing, if you watched that video, you would have seen that we got Grizzlor. So this is based on his Filmation appearance in Princess of Power. So there is Grizzlor in the box. And here is the really nice artwork on the back of the box. And then if you want to read the description, there you go. And then here are the figures in the wave. We've got Merman here coming up. Buzz Off, I've already done a video on. I got Buzz Off on Amazon. Really like that Buzz Off figure, but unfortunately, one of the wings on mine actually broke, but I was able to get a refund from Amazon, and I was able to actually glue the wing back together, so it doesn't move around too well, but the figure, he's still pretty good. And then the Faker figure, I did not pre-order, but if I do happen to see that one in the store, especially on sale, I'll probably pick that one up. So that's Grizzlor. Then we've got Merman, one of my all-time favorite Masters of the Universe characters. So this is sort of a re-release. It's an updated figure, a different version of Merman, a little bit more classic version of Merman. So again, really nice artwork. The artwork on these is very impressive. And then if you want to read the, you can pause and read there, the background. So this is based off of Merman's appearance in the Revelation cartoon, but it's based on his past appearance, not on the present day cartoon story. This is the not battle damaged, and he's not missing his eye in this one. So it's a little bit more typical kind of what we're used to when it comes to Merman. Now, of course, if you saw my video from way back when, I customized my Masterverse Merman to look a little bit more like this one. So in the second half of the video, we'll do a comparison between this new Merman and my customized version of the old Merman, and we'll see how they look. And then finally, we have got the new Eternia Clawful. So this is based off of essentially the original artwork of Clawful, like the original kind of iteration of Clawful. Honestly, this is really close to, the vintage figure, the Masters of the Universe Classics figure. So I do have the vintage figure, the Origins figure, and the Classics figure. So again, when we do comparisons here in the second half of the video, we will compare this version of Clawful to his other figure iterations, and we'll see how those measure up. So here's the artwork of new Eternia Clawful. And if you want to read the story, there is the story. So these, all three look really cool. Very happy to have all three of these at once and be able to kind of open them up and compare them and pose them all together on the shelf. Not really sure I have the room on my Masterverse villain shelf for all of these guys. I'm probably gonna have to do a little bit of rearranging. Yeah, let's get these guys out of their boxes, get them posed, and get a look at their accessories, and then we'll do some comparisons. All right, so now I've unboxed all of these Masterverse figures, and we're going to take a look at all of them. Starting off here with the most surprising figure, the one that I thought that I might actually like the least and ended up liking the most, which is the Grizzlor figure. So you can see that I have him all kind of posed the way that I'll probably have him on the shelf. So, I'm not going to go over the, typical kind of things that you do in a review video, the articulation and whatnot. All of these guys, they have the same articulation, typical Masterverse articulation, pinless elbows, pinless knees, double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, thigh twists, bicep twists, all of the, typical articulation that we get out of the Masterverse figures, which in my opinion is really good articulation. They're not super articulated, but they don't really need to be. A lot of these guys are kind of more like the big bruisers of the MOTU world. But what I do want to do is I just want to kind of talk about what I think of these figures and just some of the surprises and some of kind of my unique thoughts and my take on them. So like I said, the Grizzlor is probably my favorite of the three and the one that has surprised me the most. So as you can see, the weapon that he is holding is not any of the weapons that came with him. So this mace is actually a weapon that came with the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, which is started out as a Kickstarter, and now you can get the figures on Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth, I do believe. I think this one came in the Cobalt Weapons pack, if I remember correctly. And basically, I just love the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom line. I'm ordering most of the figures. I got a good set of weapons packs. And I just think that this mace or club, whatever you want to call it, I think this looks fantastic with Grizzlor. I went through several different weapons. I feel like Grizzlor should have some sort of mace or club, just something that he can kind of bludgeon someone with. And this is the one I chose. I think it looks great. Now, he did, of course, come with his crossbow, which is, inspired by the vintage toy. I think this does look cool. I've never been a huge fan of these Horde crossbows. Even as like a little kid with like the vintage figures, I just never was really into these. I mean, I do think they look cool, but I don't know. It's just something about them has never really appealed to me. And then he did come with an axe, which you'll actually see in a second here. And then he also came with alternate hands. So he has a fist for his right, and then another kind of weapon holding hand for the left. And then he's got his weapon holding hand on the right, and then kind of like a, claw hand for the left. So like I said, I like him in this position. So something that really surprised me about this figure is just how good it looks, first of all. One thing is the face sculpt is really good. So that's the first thing that really impresses me. It's just really well done. I like the details on the figure, but the other thing is this fur piece is super soft, like way softer than anything I think I've ever felt on an action figure. He's got weapon storage here, for his little axe. He's got like his Horde armband. I do like that, these boots are painted red, the Horde bat symbol is red. This is just a really cool figure. He feels just really well made, very sturdy. And like I said, the softness of the fur, it's hard to describe just how soft it is. You have to kind of feel it for yourself. Mine, right out of the package, it was just like perfect. Like it didn't need adjusting. It didn't need to be like messed with in any way. It was just really good right out of the package. So one comparison I would like to do is, this is the Origins Grizzlor. You can see that, this is based off of the vintage toy. This is based off of, his cartoon appearance. So they look really different. But as you can see, I gave the axe that comes with the Masterverse Grizzlor, I gave it to this Grizzlor. I just think that this axe, I think it's just a little too undersized for this larger Grizzlor, but I think it looks great in the hands of the Origins Grizzlor. So yeah, so that's probably what I'm going to do. If you've watched any of my other MOTU videos, you know that I love doing a lot of mixing and matching of parts, a lot of kit bashing, even some customizing with the Origins and the Masterverse figures. So yeah, I mean, this one was simple. I just got, a different weapon for the Masterverse Grizzlor, one that's a little bit more size appropriate, and really, like the paint and detail on this one is so much better, whereas this one's really plain. And I feel like a more plain weapon should go with the Origins line, whereas the Masterverse line should have ones that have more metallic paint and just more details. So that's what I'm going to do. I think that these guys look great with these, the weapons paired that way. So for some more comparisons here, this is the Masterverse Hordak alongside Grizzlor, because of course Grizzlor is part of his faction, the Horde. So one thing I did to my Hordak figure is I did paint the red in on his boots. I know technically it's not Filmation cartoon accurate, but I really wanted him to have the red bats on the boots, and as you can see, that now matches with Grizzlor. So I think it looks cool now that Hordak also has the red bats, but of course I had to paint that in myself. And you can see that Grizzlor is definitely larger than Hordak, which he definitely should be. And then I thought another decent comparison would be with Beastman, because Grizzlor is kind of like Beastman in a lot of ways. And these guys, I think they pair up absolutely perfectly. Beastman, he looks a little bigger just because of his armor, but they're pretty much the same height. And like the fur piece really kind of fills Grizzlor out. So these two, I think they look fantastic together. It's almost like Skeletor and Hordak, like sending the two of them together on a mission. They're going to do a lot of damage. So yeah, these two, I think they look really, really cool together. All right, so the next figure we're going to look at from this trio is Clawful. So this is how I think I'm going to pose the Masterverse Clawful figure on my shelf. You can see that I am posing him with the weapon that came with him, which is, of course, his vintage-inspired mace or club. And then I've also got his back armor piece, if that's what you want to call it. So if we take a look here, you can pop the head off real easy. Now this has like a little clip that fits into the extra kind of armor piece that he comes with, but I don't want to put that on him. But I do like this piece. So I've put this, you just kind of have to pop the head off, put it around the neck, pop the head on, and then you are good to go. Because I do like how this looks with like the shell. It's almost like, just extra, extra armor. And of course, his two claws are articulated. So you can open and close his claws, which is super, super cool. And he's just a really, really well done figure, like the metallic blue and the face sculpt. Like if you didn't see it already, face sculpt is really, really good. And, the best thing to compare this to is the MOTU Classics version, because they're pretty close. It's this one, I kind of feel like this could almost be like his big brother kind of thing, There's definitely a good bit of similarities, but there's some differences, So he also has like this kind of back shell piece, but then he also has this shield I just think that these two really, really look neat together. Again, it's like there's definitely some noticeable differences. You know, this is the classic one. This is kind of the more modern Masterverse one. You know, this one definitely has its place, but this one is kind of like a little bit more fun to like play with and move around. You know, it has the better articulation, whereas this one you want to be more careful with because you don't want it to break. But yeah, I mean, just look how cool the two of them look. And then if we really wanted to be weird, we could bring in the really little brother, because here is the Origins Clawful. And yeah, we've got like this little setup of these, you know, crab men, and really, really fun. I mean, Clawful, definitely one of my favorites from the vintage toy line, and he's just so cool looking. Like it's a crab, crustacean, lobster creature man. So hey, can't go wrong there. So there is comparisons with that. And then if you just want to see him alongside a Skeletor, this is my kit bashed Masterverse Skeletor. So he's got a couple different parts from a couple different figures. But as you can see, they still match up really well. He's, you know, Clawful's taller, bigger, and bulkier, which I think works pretty good here with this Skeletor figure. So yeah, looks pretty neat. I like how this Clawful figure came out. Definitely pretty cool. Now, he does come with this shield, which is kind of odd to me. Like, I guess you could probably put this shield in his little hand, but I just don't understand why he came with this shield. It feels like to me, like if you look at the packaging, they just needed something else to put in there to like justify the price. That's how I feel, at least. I don't know. I mean, this is a fine shield, but I just don't see how Clawful needs this. So, whatever. But yeah, the figure itself is really, really cool. All right, and then finally, we get to one of my favorite MOTU characters. And just get ready, because this is going to look quite a bit different than what you may be expecting it to look. Because here is the Merman figure, and here is another Merman figure. So the one on the right here, this is the body of the new Masterverse Merman with the head of the original battle damaged Merman, but I painted the battle damaged eye in. So this is actually the first release head, but with the eye painted. And then we've got the battle damaged body with the new one's head. This armor piece is the armor from the Clawful figure. So I definitely didn't like how this looked on Clawful, but I really kind of like how it looks on Merman. And you can store his staff on the back of it, which I also really like. So now, there we go. Oh, and this armor is from the Lords of Power Origins Merman figure. And you might be wondering, well, what happened to the Masterverse Merman's armor? I put it on the Origins Lords of Power. And I kind of like how that looks. So now I'm kind of trying to decide here what I want to do, I'm interested in what some of you think as well, because I really don't need both of these mermans. I like them both. I really do. And what I'm maybe thinking about doing is if we bring in the mermans that we have from MOTU Classics, which sometimes they don't like to stand, so let's see. But we've got this version of Merman, and we've got this version of Merman, right? So now I'm thinking to myself, what if I took the battle damaged Merman, which was the first release, and painted him blue so I could have a Masterverse version that looks like this, and then a Masterverse version that's green. And I think I just might do that. But then I got to thinking, well, the heads, you know, this Lords of Power head looks more like that one. So now I kind of want to see what the heads look like switched. So I'm going to do that on camera. We're going to hope for the best here, because sometimes when you try to do these things live on camera, things don't go too well. But we're going to see. So I'm going to swap out the head of the Lords of Power Merman. If I can get it off of here. With, I guess I should do the head that I actually painted. Because I was just like messing around with these two, seeing what I like the best. So here is the Origins body with the head and the armor of the Masterverse figure, which I still kind of like, but I don't know. I feel like maybe I like the other head better. And then here is the Lords of Power head on the Masterverse body. So this is the one I'm thinking about painting blue, but I'm not sure. I'm still just deciding what exactly I want to do. But I do think that I like this armor with that head on this figure better. Now, I could, of course, just leave this head on there and then just paint it blue and then just have a blue one and a green one. Maybe I'll do that. I am not sure, honestly. So I am curious what you think in the comments about my customizing and kit bashing of Merman here. Now I do want to pop this head back off, and I want to put this head back on. All right. So now if you want to see just the new release of Merman with the head that he came with and the body that he came on. Now, of course, this armor is the armor from the Lords of Power Merman. I still like this armor better on this body. I'm not a huge fan of the armor that came with the figure. I guess I can put it on real quick. I mean, it won't take long to swap out the armors. That way you can at least see the figure as Mattel intended, I suppose. So yeah, as you can tell, I did a lot of switching around and a lot of mixing and matching here. So here is the figure as received. And I mean, it still looks really cool. I don't know. It's just something about that armor. It's just not really the merman that I'm looking for, I guess you could say. Like here he is next to the, again, the classics merman. Of course, he has, you know, this version of the head on there. I mean, they still look cool together. It's just, I don't know. But I do, of course, love the vintage inspired corncob sword, one of my favorite accessories from a figure from childhood. Here is Merman alongside the Origins Merman, that original, you know, vintage inspired Merman. And I think probably this is why I'm not a huge fan of this armor, is because when I see this armor, that's what I think of in terms of Merman. By the way, I forgot to mention that Merman did come with extra hands. You've got 2 fists. You've got 2 swimming hands, which here's one right here. The other one is on him. And 2 gripping hands. One's right here, and one is on him to hold his sword. So, yeah, there you go. Still deciding exactly what I want to do with all these mermen, because of course with the battle damaged one, you know, that one also, you know, hung around quite a bit at stores, especially at Walmart. So here again is the battle damaged one with the armor from Clawful and with the head that I already painted to fix it so it wasn't battle damaged anymore. And yeah, I don't know, like the more and more I think about it, do I want to paint this one blue? Do I just want to leave it as is? I'm not sure. I mean, I definitely don't need 2 merman that are almost identical. So yeah, if you have any ideas or thoughts, let me know in the comments. I would definitely appreciate it. But as you can see, I'm having lots of fun with these Masterverse and Origins figures. I'm getting more and more of them, definitely running out of space, but hey, that's all right. We could have worse problems out there. So thanks for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe, and have a good one.